Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike here in Taiwan. Getting ready to head out to Inchon, Seoul, South Korea. Sitting on the ramp stand 512 in the cargo area with the fictitious 747 for FedEx. Uh, Route's supposed to be about 2.5 hours today, so why don't we get right into it and blast off so we can get up there as quickly as possible. Don't think I'm going to have the time today to do the turn to Kansai, but once we get up there, we'll see what time's left. So without further ado, let's get over here and do the pre-flight brief. Okay, and with Sim Toolkit up, we can do that quickly here. We're on the main page here. We can see a lot of rain moving off of China, starting to encroach on Taiwan. We are going to be up on VATSIM today. A matter of fact, I'm connecting over right now. Let me get that and connect. And as you can see, we are on.
Eva 052, hold short of runway 05 left.
And fetch. It's been a little bit, so bear with me here. File. Oh yeah, I got to indicate one that I'm a heavy. And we'll go with J. Everything else looks good. File. Okay, we're on 122.8, 122.95, so we're good to go. All right, we just had somebody taking off or getting ready to land here, I can see. I know you all can't because you're looking at Sim Toolkit. My apologies there. But anyway, here we are sitting in Taiwan. I just learned something I can do here. Hang on. We're going to zoom down so you can see where we're parked. We're parked here on the cargo ramp. Oh, the auto zoom's still on. Hang on a second. Doink. All right. So you can see we're parked on the cargo ramp. Now, this is the new flight plan page for Sim Toolkit. It's in beta. As you can see, it's quirky, but it's in essence taking the live map, merging it with the flight plan, as you can see going down the right side, and you get the same information. Airport charts, radio frequencies, weather details, there you go there, as well as departure details, which are right here. So for the weather, we're looking at 17 degrees outside, wind 040 at 19, and visibility is 999 meters, 10 kilometers, or 6 nautical miles. So, okay, now that all makes sense. I guess that's unlimited in meters. The altimeter is 1020 here. Clouds few at 1,000, broken at 2,500. Okay, so it's not bad. I actually like how it breaks it down here too. And you can see we're 108 feet above sea level, 12,000 foot runway on a heading of, that's the only thing missing here. How about that? Oh, Taiwan just took off. Let's see. Yeah, they don't have the runway heading. All right, well, they don't have everything yet, but that's pretty cool anyway. The only other thing missing from here would be, well, let's see. Nope, it's not going to let me do it. I was going to try seeing if I could get the ATC like the live map does, but we're just going to pull out a little. The live map itself will show you Sim Toolkit, Fat Sim Flyers, all of that good stuff here. But anyway, we're here to get our flight planning going, so let's pull up the load sheet. We're going to load 75,935 kilos into the plane with 8 passengers. This is a cargo flight, along with 35,973 kilos for fuel. And you can see the breakdown here. Costa index is 100, initial cruise 37,000. Now this reference card, all it's going to do is basically the same thing I just told you, and it incorporates, it doesn't work all that great. If this part would work right, it would show you the METARs. But it's a pretty neat little
Taipei traffic,
addition.
density train to downwind will extend
I may
downwind
have
for
to
EVA
switch
traffic
off here.
for departure.
Matter of fact, I'm pretty close to doing that anyway. Hang on a second. I'm just going to switch frequencies for now. That way we don't hear them. Okay, that way it's not annoying. Sorry about that, folks. So there's your load sheet. Now we'll get the flight plan up here. Like I said, it does everything it does on the old one. It's just all right here. You got the map. The only thing missing are your online services. So we're scheduling out of here. It's an 886-mile run. Average winds are about 281 at 65 knots. There you go with all of your ISA and information there. Roll down, you see the fuel information we just pulled up for you. 35,973 kilos. Alternate for today is Kunsan, south of Inchon by about 148 miles. There's the route for it. And here's our route again. It's also in the chat room. So we hope y'all enjoy the flight. That's what we're here for the most. Scheduled time is a 2.5-hour run. They're calling us in 2 hours, 31 minutes. So we'll see what happens. Here's the breakdown of the weights, cargoes, and all. And then from here on, it's just like you're used to with all of your fixes and all. We are going to go 5 left out of here, only because that's the runway right next to us. We just got a taxi all the way down. Yeah, here we go. And we're planning 3-3 right into Inchon because it's the closest to the cargo area, just a long taxi back. So there you go, folks. There's our pre-flight. The only thing we're not getting is the upper level winds and significant chart, which I am going to bring up the significant weather just to see what we have along the way. Oh, a couple of jet streams. So we've got some moderate chop to 43,000 and 2 jet streams cutting across in many segments here. So we'll be watching for chop pretty much along the way. All right, folks, that wraps up the pre-flight. Let's get into the cockpit here. Power up. Here's where we are in Inchon. And 512, just for those of you who get an idea, is here. There's a lot of cargo spots here and across the runway. So just for your information if you didn't know. So we're going to set that back. Slide nav graph out of the way, and we're going to slide out of some toolkit for the aircraft, and let's get into the pre-flight brief. Now at the top I'm bringing in the overlays so that way you all can see where we are, what we're doing. Lower right hand corner is our Discord channel. Feel free, we would love to have you join us and be a part of the community we are trying to build slowly but we're getting it built. That's the big thing. We thank all 45 viewers or followers. We love all of you. Thank you for supporting us, and we're going to continue on now. So, just checking. There we go. Okay, so we have already powered up, but since we're the crew coming up, we're going to do the preliminary checks nonetheless to make sure everything's the way we want it. So we're going to go up to the top panel. First thing we would do coming out to the plane, make sure the circuit breakers are checked and that they're all in and that the emergency equipment is checked and stowed. On the overhead panel, we'll look at the utility switches, make sure they're on, turn the battery switch on, switch the standby power to auto. Now that's going to power up the plane in a basic mode. As we continue on, we'll turn the demand pumps on, which are down here. I'm sorry, we're gonna make sure the demands, that's the knobs, turned off. I turn on the engine ones, so one, I don't forget them. And I also turn the bus ties and the gen connects on. We do those at the end. I just do it now. Just makes it simple. Once we have those done, we'll drop to the middle panel, make sure our alternate flaps is off, and that our alternate gear as well is down. Wait a minute. Flaps and gear are off. Gear lever, make sure that's down. I have come into this airplane and found it up. So be careful from your last flight. You never know what it'll do. Next up in the preliminary, we want to make sure the flaps are 0. And you're going to see them here at 0. And if there's no indication here, they are up. Finally, we'll make sure the parking brake is set, and it is, and we're going to establish ground power. Now, the only FMC that will be working until then is the pilots. And all you'll do is go to you'll be on this page, go to ground handling, click select, go to ground service, click ground power, as you can see I've already done, and that'll bring the available button up to you. Hang on a second, I'm just, and then you just push your avails. Now I know some people will tell you can't turn number 2 on and number one and the nose. Folks, it's a flight sim. Don't get too caught up in some of that stuff. But anyway, I've got them both on. And then we'll continue down with oxygen masks. Now that's something we can't test because the gauge isn't on the default, nor has the Sparks744 team put it on there, if they plan to put it on there, or if it can even be put on. So no big deal. Emergency lights, armed and guarded. I'm sorry, they would be, armed and guarded. Windshield wipers, they're right here. They are off. And your navigation lights are on. Logo light is on. Bus ties and gen, and that's just doing the same thing. And all that's going to do is bring the external power onto the general bus, for the electrical bus for the aircraft, as well as the gen disconnects in case we have problems with an engine. Okay, and that brings us down now into the pre-flight flow here. Now the pre-flight flow is supposed to go down, down, and down. It's kind of hodgepodgey. So basically what it reads here is the IRSs would go to align, then nav. You do it for each one. Little different than the Airbus where you got to stop, make sure it goes on the bat. They just go to align and then to nav. The reason to nav is once it counts down to 0, boom, they come alive if you've set up a reference point. The electronic engine controls are right above them. Make sure they're normal or norm, and the guards are down. Fire protection right here. Just push the button, listen for that. Now if it would do what it's supposed to, we'd be able to go down, look, and make sure everything's going off on the main panel. I can't get any of them to ever stay on. Interrupt switches are on. Passenger oxygen is normal right here. And the flight deck lights down here are set to your preferences. Where are we? Stay cut. Now this is where things go a little wonky, if you will. They're all the way down here on the bottom of the center console. And we just want to make sure they are set to auto, and they are. Now we come up to the FMC. So when you come in, you're going to have this looking, I'm sorry, you would have been like this to get the ground power. So you just click ground handle, that brings you back, or menu, one of the two. Click FMC. I go pilot route list, and then I click int ref. Start with ident. Make sure your nav dates are correct, and they are here, as well as your programming engines. We're going to run with the cargo with the Pratt 4062s. Then we're going to click position init, type in RCTP, that's our departure point. There's your, and it's going to give you in the GPS position your location. Simply click that line select key, click it to here. You don't see it now because we're already aligned up. So then you go to route, type in your destination, type in your your origin, then your destination, and then your flight number. And why did it go away? I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I've already put the route in. I had a route I saved and put in. It's came off a SimBrief, and that's what you see in the chat room. And if you need it again, I can provide. Stand by. And there it is again for those that may not see it. So, and then we would just go through on the legs on the next page. Here's the route to Piano, to Salmi, to Blunt, to Atone, to Ullman. And that's the start of our inbound, of our arrival. I've got this thing set all the way in, folks, and checked. Then you can go to your legs page, make sure everything is capiche with no discontinuities in it. We got one here. How to get rid of it is all you do is click here. That'll drop to the bottom. Come up, click it in, execute. Now I always make sure it doesn't screw things up, and it might have. Hang on a second. So I don't see one fix. Oh, where's my flight plan? It did. So hang on a second. All right, so 31. Whoa, how far did it go? Okay. Make sure. IB. Okay. All right, I don't know why it's not letting us put it in. You know what? We're just not going to worry. Let me just see something here on the map. Better yet, on the chart for that arrival. Huh, interesting why it won't let us put it on. All right, well, these things will get cured somehow. Okay, but anyway, so that's where we've gotten to. And we've got, like I said, our runways, which do not, for some strange reason, show up here. But we have them selected, active for 5 left on the Piano 1C departure. And then for the arrival, we're going on the 3-3 left ILS. We're going to start at Endpiddle, which is the end of the Olmi 1E arrival. All right, so we're going to get back to here, and now we're going to press on. Now, I've done one more, couple things still need to happen here. Obviously, you can see we need fuel. So that's the next thing coming. But I clicked the line select key next to zero fuel weight to get that information for TopCat on a different computer that I'm using. So that way I'm running as close to the weights this plane is. They're off slightly. It's a BCF. So it was a passenger plane. Matter of fact, it may still be weighted as a passenger plane with seats and all that garbage in there, even though it's supposed to be a lot lighter, empty weight wise. No big deal. We just make the offset over here. Um, so let's get some fuel in the plane. So we'll go now to load cargo. You go to the PAX cargo. Okay, let me back up. Let's back up here. Oh, hang on a second. Clear. Okay, so we're going to go to menu. So from the ground handling, you'll see PAX cargo. Now I use the bottom one for this so I can use the top ones primarily for flying. Okay, so this is the passenger. First, bus, business, econo, econo, econo. If you click next page, it puts you on cargo. Now how I load this plane is by pallets. And you can see, let me zoom it here. As you can see, it allows for 3 pallets in zone A, 8 pallets, 6 pallets, 12 pallets, 1 pallet. That's the maximum, and it's got weights associated to that. Here's your lower level cargo area, forward, aft, and bulk. These also can be loaded by pallets and by containers. You can also use the containers over here. They're about half the weight. So anyway, I just put in like 1 pallet, I believe 4 pallets, 6 pallets, 1 pallet, and then containers here. But you want to get up to what your sim brief page tells you your payload is. Sim brief tells you where, oh, I know where that's at. Never mind. So you would come down, look at your payload, and load up to that number. Or Sim Toolkit also gives you that information under load. So you'll have that 75.9 is what we want to load up to. All right, so let me get on the one I like. There we go. All right. So once you have that, the aircraft is now loaded in that fashion. We can now go to ground service. Now, from Sim Toolkit, you can put in the fuel. So, and again, you have to round up. It won't let you put in this case, 35.9. So you got to round it up to 36. So if you're above 30, if you're above 500, kick it up. I always kick it up. It's always better to have more fuel than not enough fuel. So, but anyway, all you do is that. Then,
Sorry, no service at this airport.
that's a bunch of bunk. But anyway, because I have loaded from this spot. But anyway, we request ground service, and usually it says service trucks on the way. Don't get discouraged, because it will load the fuel. Or better.
Sorry, we don't have any service trucks here.
There it goes, loading. Hopefully I won't get too much fuel. I'll watch it, make sure it stops. Okay, it looks like we're good. Just want to make sure we don't double up the load. All right, we're going to look out, make sure. I will admit it has been kind of quiet here on everything. I haven't seen any moving vehicles, and I don't know why, because last time they about hit each other. Okay, so we're still at 36. I just wanted to give it that. Now you see your fuel at 36. Here's our zero fuel weight. Reserve for this flight will be 12.4. Now where I got that from, okay, I'm going to pull Sim Toolkit up to give it a second to reload here. On the flight plan, take your alternate plus your reserve. Reason for is you got to be able to make your alternate and have that 45 minutes afterwards, which adds up to 12.4. So let me slide that away. So 12.4, cost index we know is 100. Cruise 370. Don't be afraid of those, they come up, and then I don't think the step climb feature is available, but I put it in anyway just in case. Now it's showing a CZ, let's try that again, CG of 20.0. Let me kind of zoom in. Now I can't really center it up because of the speed brake. It gets in over the keys, and I'm not going to open it up. So there, click thrust limit next. Now this is where my top cap program comes in from. I'm actually not sure who the company is behind this. I've had this for years with Microsoft, and I still use it on everything. Okay. Believe that's what I came up with on ACARS as well. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is. Okay. Actually, what I want to do, update the weather. Okay, 2020. There we go. Just want to make sure everything is as up to date as possible. Okay, so ACARS is calling for a flaps 10 departure TO1. So we'll click TO1 first, and they want us to go at 63 for our select temperature. I also like to match up our outside air. If we're showing 16, they're showing 17. So close enough for my books. And then climb 1 is fine. We'll go to the takeoff page. There's not a lot we can do here. We can't put in any of this information or the wet or dry runways like you're all used to with PMDG. However, we can put in flaps 10. It's already set to what I like, 1500. These are not correct. So what we're going to do, click the line select key next to it. I'm sorry. Let me do this. So our V speeds for today 148 for V1. And when you click on it, you see you get the right value. V rotate, 155. Okay. V2, 162. We'll go with that, even though it's going to probably roll us back. And click our CG, which is 5.7 on the trim. Now, this is going to leave us a margin of 2,300 feet on the runway, so we're fine with that. Close that out, close that out. Whoop, close too much out. Hang on. Recompute. Just waiting on it. There we go. All right, so we've got the FMC is now programmed, ready to go. So let's continue on here. We're going to go to the MCP, so we'll roll up to here. This is your MCP. We're going to set it up. So first thing I like to do is turn the flight directors on. We're going to set our speed to 1. So it's 162 plus 10 is what I use. 172. And runway heading, I got 54. And for now, we'll set for 37,000. If we need to roll back into departure brief, we will. Okay. We just read through here. Okay, so we can, and I've got our altimeter already set to 1020 on both panels. We're going to go ahead and set in the DH. I like 100. Okay. Bear with me, I'm setting the co-pilot up as well. Okay, it's been a raunchy booger. Okay, we'll flip it. MDA, I'm going to set for our barrow for 400 above. Which brings us down to around 500. Hang on a second, I'm going to switch views just to make it a little easier on these old eyes. I'm going to do kind of the same thing over here. And we've got that all set. We're a little ahead of this checklist, but I like getting those set. VOR, VOR. Excuse me there, folks. Did not mean to cough in your ears. MCP is now set, so we're going to head up top. We're going to turn the hydraulics on. First one goes to 4 goes to auxiliary. And then we're going to go ahead and turn on the other 3. Cross feeds. Let's take a look at how we're loaded fuel-wise. That always tells the picture. Okay, fuel. Okay, so we're even on our tanks. I don't know if y'all followed me a few flights back. We did a Boston to Gatwick. This one we actually turned the cross feeds on, so we could have the whole pipe balancing the fuel as it went from all the tanks into all of the engines. Now, with the fuel even in each one, each tank is going to feed its respective engine, otherwise known as tank to engine. So on the fuel pumps, all we got to do is just turn on the mains. Do not turn on the overrides. All this is going to do is make these drain faster and not drain any of these. And again, remember, they're going straight to their engines. So tank 1, these pumps are pumping only engine 1, engine 2, engine 3, engine 4. Get the drift. When these are on, they run all of the tanks, and then you can run the overrides. I know it's kind of confusing. It's been 15 years of flying this plane, so I finally, got it kind of straight in my mind at least. Next up, the audio systems, which is up here, should be in the normal, and it is. Interphone switch on. Voice recorders on. ICE systems. Again, see how we're hodgepodging? We should be just coming down. T-handles in. All of this set. Auto start is on. These are set. Here's the anti-ice. They're off as they should be. Window heat should be on. Yaw damper on. Air conditioning set. Okay, now basically we just skipped over these. The manuals need to be showing off and in normal. All right, so now the air conditioning is set to auto, so that way it'll just automatically set to what's pre-programmed. Now the trim air needs to be on, and it is. Upper lower recircs on. Aft cargo heat will keep off because it's, what is it, 17 degrees Celsius. We're not going to worry about it till we get to altitude. Actually, we might turn it on at takeoff so that way it's controllable. The high flow switch is on. ECS or equipment cooling switch is normal. I lost myself here. Hang on, there we go. Pack 1 on, 2 and 3 off. Isolation valves on. Just make sure, again, the piping is closed and showing that it's connected. Bleed air switches, all of them on, including the APU, even though it's not running. EFIS panel, again, already set. I have no idea why we got a hello. But I am going to do one thing while I'm here. All right, let's see. Displays are set to the way we want them. Now you can't set ranges here without moving both. See how that moves them both? So we can't do that. But that's okay. Continuing on. Standby instruments are checked and set. Nav selector switches. Let me just come over here. That are these. Make sure they're 12 o'clock. Oops. Come down. 12 o'clock. Speed brake lever. That's that pesky thing that's in the way over here. It is in the down position. Thrust levers down, closed. Thrust reversers are also down. By the way, these are your toga switches. Fuel control, a little further down. They are in the cutoff position, all 4. Radios set. Let's go ahead and come back on Unicom. Unicom for VATSIM is 122.8. This is the guard channel for POSCON. I have this set on the POSCON Unicom as well, and the Universal Guard channel. All right. Oop, hang on. I see we got this to deal with still. Hang on. There we go. Passenger signs when refueling is complete, which it is. They are on. Received our ATC clearance, flight deck door closed. We are ready for the before start, double checking that only 36 loaded, and it did. Let's do a quick look here at our gauges, make sure things are to the best. They don't have everything working yet here, but they've got it pretty well, looking pretty decent here. Our only door open, that's the only one that works, folks, sorry. All right, so let's get back to engine and stats. We've got good quantities on our hydraulics. Pressure's up. And APU isn't fired up yet. So everything's looking good. Go to the engines. And oil quantities are looking good right here. All right, so we are set, folks, to proceed with the before start checklist. I want to first come on outside the plane, let you see it again. Chocks are in. We're about to close the main door and get going here. The only thing that kind of irritates me about the scenery is they've got us parking way too far up. Nose loaders would never park like that. We're not one. They would be back about here or a little further back so that nose loader can get in, and they'd have all of this room to store the cargo until it got into the building. Building would also be up a lot closer. Can't complain. They didn't ask me. They did it on their own. But it's a good scenery. I mean, let's take a look at it from here, folks. I mean, we'll kind of do a 20. And we got a little bit of traffic here. That's cool. Just kind of looking around. There's some defaults aircraft over there. So there you go, folks. Gives you an idea. It also lets us see that everything's closed. Again, the only doors that work is this door, upper left one, and 1L right here. Even on the passenger ones, none of the side doors work, even though if you look at the Sparks page, you'll see them there. They're just their placeholders till they can get them working. All right, so let's get into that before start checklist here. Starts with starting the APU. I want to come down here. I want to see if there's something that tells me. Okay, let's go ahead and try start. Oh, I wanted to come here. Yep, there it goes, starting up. They've delayed the starting process, much like the Airbus where you got to wait for the flap open. They've kind of done that here, except the problem is the airplane doesn't tell you it's ready to start. As far as I know, really never been up on the cockpit to see, so I don't know. I'm going to click this one over to performance, and you can see everything's set in here. I'm sorry, to progress. Ugh. And our APU is up to 65%. Now they have made it spool up a little slower, which is nice. Just means we got to wait a little longer. Brake pressure we can check is normal. It's right at the bottom of the green. Fuel quantities 36,000 boarded and correct. We are almost there. Performance data checked and set. We'll go over that here in a moment. MCP is set to V2 plus 10, which is 172. Heading 54. Altitude 37,000. We'll go over our V speeds. We'll set our trim though while we're here and waiting. We'll set it about right there's pretty close. Okay, it says we should be available now, and we are. Okay, now we can't unfortunately disconnect external power. That's the one thing I kind of wish, if we can, I don't know how. But anyway, we've got that all set. Let's go ahead, close the main door. And let's make sure it closed. Clear, good deal. And I like to check anyway, and it did. Just me. I'm one of those. I'm one of those kind of nerds. All right, so the aileron trim is 0, rudder trim 0, auto start is engaged. All that does is it allows you to pull your ignition, your start lever or buttons up here to what we call armed. And when you're ready to start, you pull your fuel levers up and everything's automatic from that point on. And that is in the real plane, by the way. Or if you keep it off, as soon as you pull the start lever, the engines start turning. So it's your call. You're the captain. Now, once we're done with the one last thing we'll be doing here is removing the chocks, so we'll leave this page up. ETC clear. Oh, wait a minute, wrong one. We need to do a recall. So we got 4 engines shut down and the auto throttle is still disconnected. I'll turn that on with the auto brakes once we start taxiing. So let's do a cancel and a recall. We should get the same 4 back, and we did. All right, folks, crew briefing time. So let's do a quick departure brief and then we're out of here. Hang on a second here. Again, Sim Toolkit is the animal we use for this. So let's pull that back into the fray here. And we'll let it warm up. There it is. Still got that big blob to the north and some little blobs still trying to come across Taiwan. All right, so let me pull up the live map. Now, what's going to show here once it sinks in is all the traffic around us, VATSIM, and so forth. Just making sure it's still set. Doesn't look that busy now. But there's the green is VATSIM. Any blue, like you saw mine, that's Sim Toolkit. Now I'm on VATSIM as well, so it's in actually both. And there's that range starting to move in. So let's get NavGraph and back to the correct airport. We're going to turn facing south. So we're going to tell pushback. We're going to push facing south. We're going to taxi basically down. I believe it's Whiskey. I could be wrong, but it's kind of fun right here to see how we're going to get on it. But we'll come down this one all the way to the end and then take off on the 12,000 foot runway. Our departure, as soon as it decides to load, is the Piano 1C departure, which is this right here. So airport elevation is 108 feet. It's radar monitored and controlled. I'm sorry, monitoring required, and it's an RNAV departure. Okay, procedures. First off, climb on runway heading until 600 feet. For the 1C, we're going to be on 5 left, direct TPO 50 to Octon to Piano. So basically, you see it to here, we got to be above 8,000 at Octon, and then out to Piano. Critical DMEs on the 1C is Topo and Octon. We'll be using the APU and HLG. It'll be automatically switching. And anything else here? But again, 600 feet when we make that turn. So it's pretty quick on departure. Pretty much as we're pulling the gear up, we're going to turn to a heading of 004 direct Octon at TP50. Max speed until established on track to decoy. Okay, that's going off the other way, 210. That's because they probably want you to make a turn, not to hit a high mountain. We are lucky enough we're going right out over the ocean. So that pretty much, folks, wraps up our departure. So we are looking at, we got across at 8,000. We're going to keep our heading as is. I'm going to go back to this one in case I need it while taxiing. But let's pull out sim brief. And let's get to starting this plane. Okay, so for the engine start, first thing we obviously have to do is push back. So that means better pushback needs to be in place. And again, we need to be facing south. Okay, and then all we do is click
Alright,
enter.
Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
And we got the crazy guy today. Alrighty. Go ahead and get him coming along.
Great news, Captain, your tow's coming.
Alright, so let's turn the beacons on both. Come down here. We're going to go ahead and remove the chocks. Make sure your parking brake is on. Then we're going to come out. Make sure the chocks are off. They are. And if we swing around, we should see him coming in right through the pole to hook up to us. And that's why I said we're way in here, way too close. Now, there should be a plane right down there. He must have just gone offline. Okay. He'll be talking to us here again.
Alright, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Okay, we'll go ahead and drop into the plane now. All right, so the engine start check is simple. Beacon lights on. And then when he starts pushing, the parking brake comes off and we start the engines up. Now we can arm up 2 and 3. That'll be our first ones we start. Now, how do we know they're armed? Well, you click them, you're pulling out. So by clicking them, you've pulled them. Now you see the white dots are not on because they're not turning up yet. Nor do you see them spooling here. They will only start again to spool when you turn them here. Bring these to run.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
All right, so folks, we've done the departure brief. We've done all the pre-flight flows. Engine start checklist is just waiting for us to release that brake.
Here comes the pushback. Light 'em up.
That's why I call him the crazy guy. Always tells us light them up. Now what I'm going to do is kind of wait till we clear behind us. All right, so let's go ahead, light up 2 and 3 as he asked. And now you'll see them coming alive here, folks. Let me zoom in. See the numbers coming up. At about 20, you're going to see the EGT, the turbine temperature, come up. Fuel flow will start as well here in there goes the EGT up on that one, and the fuel is coming in. Remember, this is in kilograms, so you're not going to see drastic moves in the fuel. Okay, we are now turning, and we're just waiting for the starter cutout, which will pull those back in. I think they already are. Oh, they beat me to it. All right, looks like we're pretty well stabilized. We'll go ahead and push back with just those two on. Let's go ahead and take a look outside the plane as he's pushing. Oh, this isn't the crazy one. There was one I was at. I'm trying to think where. where I had to zigzag over, unless it updated with what is it, 5.2 or something like that with X-Plane. Okay, we're almost pushed. And that other cargo area is over here. Overflow. Actually, UPS will park over there, I believe. Boy, he's really cranking on us. Okay. Looks
Just
like,
about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
okay, parking brake coming up.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
All right, we're going to go ahead, and we could have armed. Again, you're not seeing the white dots saying that they're spooling. Okay, we can see numbers coming up. Let me show you what I mean. When they're active, when they're actually spooling, you'll see the white dots. All right, show me the pin, as one guy said. All right, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on this. And they're spooling up. We'll watch them now. And there they go out.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
All right, so that, folks, is the engine start. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff in the automated world here of flying lately. We're going to wait for him to show us the pin over here. And don't engage your hydraulics from auxiliary until you see this plane. Don't move. That lets you know that pin is out. There's the pin, thumbs up, we're out of here. All right, so ignition now will go to continuous. We can now shut the APU down. That'll take a few minutes. Packs all on to norm. Hydraulic demand pumps, make sure they're all to auto. And that's what we just did. Anti-ice system, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the engine since we're going to fly through the clouds just in case. All right, so we're going to come back down. I like the middle because I can see everything. We're going to do a cancel, then a recall. We should get the same one up there. We're going to set our flaps to 10. And now you can see what I mean. You'll see if you were at 1, 5, or any of those positions right there, folks, all the way down to 30, this bar would show when the batteries came on. Okay, and we need to do a flight control check here in a moment. And we're at 10 and green. So what I do for the flight check, I want to show you something. Let's go over here. And we'll do it this way, closer to the window, so that way you can say, oh, you're not close to the window. Do you see your wing, folks? So that's why this page has your flight controls. Now, some of them actually say flight controls, but that's just so you can look here and see what they're doing. So we'll go left, right. Make sure when you're doing the left and right that the spoiler for the appropriate direction. When you turn left, that should go up. When you turn right, that should go up. It helps in the turns. Rudder, left, right. And you can see the pedals moving. If we were zoomed out, you would also see the nose handle going. And then the elevator up, down. Okay, and then I just kind of make sure they are really free. Okay, Flight controls have been checked. Switch back to engine. Switch back into the captain's seat here. All right, folks, that is the after engine start. Taxi is very simple. Taxi lights, landing lights will not come on now, and the EFIS is set. So we are going to head down to turn the transponder on. We are on the right frequencies. Auto brake can now go to RTO. And I'm going to leave the auto throttle off until we get ready to do the before takeoff. All right, folks, so here we go. Taxiing for runway 5 left. And bear with me a second. Taipei traffic, MACAIR 572, taxi to runway 5 left. And with that, that really helped me out to remember I forgot something big time. Has nothing to do with the sim, but everything to do with getting credit for the flight. And sorry for the flight sim just disappearing like that. Yeah, I totally forgot to start my ACARS program. So we're going to hold here just a tad bit longer. Set that parking brake. Okay, give it just a couple seconds. Give me, we'll just, so that way you can see what's going on here. I do this just about every flight. Oh, where is he? There he is. And swipe over. There we go. Okay. All right, so let's just select our flight. Go to Pirate. Come up here to Sounds. Okay, you're not seeing this, I just saw. 148. And what I'm doing is this will help us as well down the runway. They'll give us the co-pilot telling us our sounds. Okay, save. And the only other thing I got to do all right, NCA. Let's find the airplane. Oh, found it quick. Good deal. And turn that off. Last thing, get the route. And we can click start. Oh, that's nice. I thought I had it started. There we go. All right, folks, sorry for that little delay there. I do it every time, so you would think. That's why I like that one checklist I have for the Airbus. Boy, it tells you. ACARS. Well, it didn't. I usually have it at least up and running, ready to start when we get to this point. So, all right, so we are now set to taxi. Trim set. All right, 4 taxi lights. Okay, here we go. And we're going to do a brake check here in a second. As soon as we get moving, make sure everything looks good. And I'm going to also get one of the timers going. We'll get my timer going once we... Okay, brakes are working. All right, we're just going to taxi straight ahead, folks, so we'll see you, we'll talk to you again at the end of the runway. All right, folks, we're back with you. We're almost to the end of the runway here. So we're going to start running the before takeoff checks. MCP is set. Clocks are set. We're going to turn our timer on the runway here on the captain side. We're on TARA, and that shows down here. We're going to go ahead, turn the terrain on this one. Over here on the co-pilot side, we'll turn the weather radar on. All right, and you can see why they wanted them slow in their turn. There's some pretty good mountains. Can we see those? Not really. But anyway, clock transponder recall. We'll go ahead now and kick on the auto throttle. We'll do a cancel, recall. A little bit of power so we don't slow up too much. And flight attendants have been notified, but we only have 8 passengers, so attention in the cabin. Make sure your tables and chairs are all in the upright position. Seatbelts on. We're about ready to depart. Okay, folks. Hope you're ready to depart here with Flying with Mike. The Queen of the Skies is about to return to the sky here. One thing I probably ought to make sure of is what the status is of centers. I got none. Okay. All right, folks, here we go. It's time to take the runway. And Taipei traffic, MACAIR 572, taking runway 7 left for departure. And before I do, I always look. I see TCAS is clear, but I always look at either VAT Spy, which mine for some reason is screwing up right now, or VAT Statistics. And I am the only one, so, well, we'll make sure. Hang on, let me do one quick check. Oh, someone else is here now. Let's kind of zoom in and see where they're hiding. Oh, they're in a gate. Okay. All right, just want to make sure. That's the big thing here, folks. Don't want to cut anyone off or make them do a go-around. They make me mad when they do that. And a quick look out the window. Here we go. All right, strobes on. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm flown the Airbus too much here lately. Used to all of those switches. Being on a rocker where you roll them up and down with your mouse. Okay. And there's probably somebody who was trying to transmit, but we're already down here. Let's get into position. Okay. Takeoff checklist, lights. Okay, anti-ice is on. Let's go ahead, turn on the aft cargo heat now in case it does get too cold up there. Turning the clock on, lights are on. Let's take a look, see what it looks like. Okay, that's not too bad. The Queen of the Skies is about to depart. Here we go, folks. Take her up to about 60%. Gauge. Toga. $80 knots. We're alive. Takeoff power set.
V1, V2,
Gear up.
We got the autopilot on, gears up. Move that to off. Maybe, he says. Come on. There we go. Okay, we should be making that turn. We should have been making that turn already. Oh no, we go to TP. Never mind. We go direct. Okay, we're through the clouds already.
Taipei traffic, spending 560. Gate Alpha 3 pushing back facing 05 left.
You know what? It always helps, folks. Have the autopilot on. Okay, we're bringing the flaps up. Okay, after takeoff, check lift positive, ready to climb. We got the gear up and off. Flaps retracting on schedule. We're got flaps 1 or 5 going. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to hold right here. She's getting into some wind shear we want to watch. And that's the one thing I really hate. Okay, and autopilot's now engaged. Pressurization looks good down here on the lower half of our gauge. And transition altitude, we'll turn the ignition to off, continuous. Okay, we're at flaps going 1. And flat, now we're going to go ahead and turn lights off. All right. We're just heading out to Ogden and then over to
10,000
Piano.
feet.
And 10,000, we got the lights off already. And we are on our way, folks. Let me just make sure the auto brakes turned off, and they did. We are on our way. I'm going to turn this to progress for now. And so I am going to sit here on the side as we continue our climb. All right, so not sure why he came on with that. I must have said 7 left. Whatever. So anyway, we're on our way, folks. We hope you enjoy the flight. We are going to bump us up here a lot faster than that. Go to about 310. See if we can't get her to nose over here a little. As we roll out onto, here, let me just simply reply to him. All right, there we go. Trying to be gracious here. Oh, I should have known that was coming before I did that. Okay. Alrighty, so we got him taken care of. We're going to scoot this out to 40. Actually, we'll go to 80. And then on to course. Oh, God. I really hate when I start texting with someone. They just love to keep doing it. Alright, so why are we not building speed? That's the question of the day. Come on, cut it out.
18,000 feet.
Okay, let's see if we can start building some speed up here. One thing we can do to help the problem, come here to thrust limits, put us in climb, because it doesn't automatically do it. All right, folks, so we're through 18,000. Our only thing left to do is ignition off, continuous ignition off. All right, folks, we'll see you top of climb. We're going to put some music on and enjoy the ride with you. See you at top of climb. Alright folks, we're slowly making our way up there at 1,000 feet a minute. There we go. Okay, now we're building up speed. Folks, welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We're just now through 23,000, crossed Piano, headed for, what's our next? So small to read. For Byway. And then this should be putting us on the L3. Hang on a second here. Onto the L3 airway for, this is one thing I don't like about this. To Salmi, then to Blaut, Aturi, Ulman, and we'll begin our arrival into Korea. Alright folks, hope you enjoy the ride. Got the music rolling through 25,000. We just set. There we go. And we are set for 80 on our nav displays. Unfortunately, they're not independent, so we do what we have to do here, folks. But we are climbing away here. Everything's looking good. So, should be into Korea here. Let's see. Go to home. About an hour and a half, folks. Okay, so any requests, any observations out there, we'd love to hear from you. Charms Bill, be well. Thank you for the 5 left suggestion. I hope that wasn't you on the radio. I got that wrong, I know. Alrighty. Alright, just seeing who's all out here around us. Okay, so let's get outside the plane here. Alright, and as we see the Queen gracefully climbing out of Taiwan, we have an F-15 flying over the house. Actually, no, that was a KC-135. Disregard. How I got those two screwed up, I don't know. And before you all tell me, yes, FedEx does not have 747s. Atlas does a lot of that work for them if they need them, or overflow. However, the airline that I fly with, FedEx Express Virtual, allows you to fly 747s because back in the day, we're talking the 90s, they flew them, Flying Tigers flew 747s for them, 100, 200s. They were long gone before the 400s. So that's why they do. And I love it because 747's outright my favorite aircraft. By far, it's got the most hours I've flown in them, although the 777's been picking up speed. Although I haven't flown it in a long time because I just don't have it with X-Plane yet. And I haven't flown FSX on my other computer in a while. So that's why. And we are now to a point where we can kick off the passenger signs. Mainly because we're cargo. I could have turned them off at 10,000 if I wanted. Let's kick into Mach. Get us slowed up to 0.84. Even though 0.86 we can fly at. Let's try saving a little bit of fuel. Alright, in the lower right hand corner you'll see our Discord channel. Feel free to click on it, join our community. I'd love to have you aboard. Love to get a lot of stuff going on in the Discord channel while we're flying. Also, feel free to chat away. I'll try not to be grumpy and surly. Or is it the grumpy old man that my daughters call me? But we'll do our best here to accommodate questions, do our best to try and answer them, or find the answer if need be. Across the top, of course, is the Sim Toolkit overlay, and gives you an idea of time and distance to our arrival point. And let's see what it is actually showing. As soon as things refresh on Sim Toolkit here for me. 1 hour, 21 minutes. So go. And we are showing top of climb right ahead of us on Sim Toolkit here as well. So we are now leveled off. So folks, that's my cue to kind of settle down on my end. Let you all chat away in the chat box that I'm watching here. And actually what I'm going to do is kind of there we go. And sit back, relax like you all, and enjoy the flight. Just realized Queen of Sky is in the air. Love to field any questions, field anything. And if you like the channel, click follow. That'll let you know the next flight we'll be doing here, which probably won't be until next week. But it'll let you know where we're going to, and sometimes it'll even let you know the aircraft in the email, but you'll definitely find out once you get online. So again, that's if you click follow. But we do appreciate you here watching and flying with us, and enjoy the music. See how that transpires, and I see I didn't have Sim Toolkit up at all for you. Man, that's just my day. So, real quick, we'll go through the charts so you can see them at least. Here's the arrival with the instructions. Again, it's the 1 November here, Ullman, Tosca, Bonza, SI 852, 942, 943, 944, 945, 946, 947, Dannon. So you kind of see here's the routing that we can use to get in. 5,000 at Dannon, 8,000 here at 947. That we have to be at. Okay, ILS. Kind of zoom a little for you. Again, it's the ILS Yankee for 15 left, Dannon to Scott, to Duloc. Missed approach. Climb to 520, runway heading, then take a left turn to intercept the Inchon VOR, which is 113.8.0, November Charlie November ZI identifier. Fly out on the 137 radial distance 12. Continue to 4,000 feet and a right-hand turn to Kisan. Then we're going to hold, and that's depicted right here. Again, Duloc, we're at 1,600 feet. 3 degrees is 849 feet a minute on the descent. Pappies will be on the left, and our RVR that we got to be at is 550 or 800 meters. And everything else we're good with. Visibility is okay by the METAR. And again, we're going to land on 115 left. 15 left. Try to come off at Delta 1, which will put us right in favor for our entry. If not, we'll get off at Joliet or the end and taxi back to Delta 3, parking in one of the 600, 29, 30, 31, 32, one of those. Alright folks, that is the arrival brief. Now I'm going to slide Sim Toolkit out for you. And let's see where we are in the process here. We are 214 miles out. So we will continue as we can here. Just setting our heading up. I want to take a look at that. We're still on auto. Okay, what I meant by auto here is when you look at, hang on, let me slide over here and you can see it. This little notch in the outer knob here tells you what bank angle. This sets it up for automatic for the type of flight, but you can actually set it for 25, 20, 15, 10, whatever. So some pilots do just to ease the turn for the passengers. Pretty sure the cargo isn't going to really care what we do. So, all right, so we're over here. What island are we over? Hang on a second. Oh wow. For some reason I've never seen this. Where are we? Huh, never seen this island before, so I'm a little lost here, folks. But anyway, that's the arrival brief, folks, and we'll allow you to sit back and relax. We'll let the music play a little longer. Once we hit top of descent, we'll either turn it down or shut it off altogether. We'll see. So enjoy the ride. We got about 200 or so miles, 198 to be exact, to top of descent. So we'll see you in about, like I say, about 100, 150 miles. So thanks for flying with Mike. We'll see you then. All right, folks, we're back with you. We're about 80 miles out now from top of descent. Let's see what we have going on here. We're 77 to be exact. We're going to go ahead and dial this down a little to 40, so we're only showing 80 miles of traffic ahead of us, plus the landscape and the landscape below us. If you're curious, we are now over the Korean Peninsula, heading up towards Inchon. Give you a nice view of the Queen as we head up the coastline here. All right, and yeah, I've flown over here a few times virtually with Sim Air Force and the Vat Milex stuff, but I haven't been doing much of that lately. It kind of getting a little ridiculous, some of the stuff they're wanting to do, and I'm just kind of a cargo hauler, and I mean, it's sometimes fun to get in there and do the cargo drops and all, but they're just I don't know, just gotten a little to a point where I'm having troubles, you know, enjoying it that way. So, but what we are going to get set up for is, let's go ahead, since we're closing in here at 67 miles. Let me move us around here real quick. Let you get a good view of the Queen here over Korea. Kind of zoom in a little on her. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the descent checks. Of course, being a cargo plane, the first item is to put the passenger signs on. I don't think we have to worry about that. Just getting some coffee in the veins, folks. But we will start that up here so that we're ready to go. We do have the FMCs planned. You all saw that as we had the runway winds change on us after departure. It's been going on for the last couple weeks for me. Think I'd get ahead of the game, and then they switch them up on me. But anyway, there's the last look of the Queen here for a little bit. So let's move into the cockpit. So we are going to go ahead. We'll, you know, follow the checklist here. Signs on. Pressurization. Folks, the easiest way to check's right here. Of course, we can always go to the ECS, but it doesn't show all the data as of yet. But if you just stay on engine, you got it right here. Cabin altitudes at 7,500 feet. Landing at 2000s. All auto. Well, that's not really what we're going to be landing altitude-wise. But it is on auto. And then when we reach our top of descent, we'll announce descent. We got about 40 miles to go before I start really getting this set up. However, one thing I am going to do for y'all, let me bring in one last look here. My luck, they're going to switch it back. Nope, 150 at 12. So we're right down the runway as of about 20 minutes ago. So we'll hope for the best here as we come in. So we shouldn't have another runway change. So hopefully you've all enjoyed this run. And I do apologize if my attitude's been off a little. That is on me, and I do apologize. I lost my computer. Hang on a second. Thankfully not the flight sim computer, but the one that I look at the chat room on. I hate when that happens. I thought I caught it in time. Was doing so much better today, and now it's gone back to what it normally does. So we'll try to keep up with it. There we go. Everything's back up and running on it. But yeah, if you like what you've seen, you like this video so far, go ahead, please click follow. That kind of lets me know I'm doing a fairly decent job here, and allows you the ability to come alongside, fly with us on our next adventure when we go live. You'll get an email saying Flying with Mike is going live from origin to destination, and sometimes I even throw in the airplane because some people, are looking for specific airplanes. I can tell you I am scheduling a flight for, let me see here. Oh, where's my schedule? Next up, schedule-wise, is April 12th. That's a Monday. And we're going to do a little island hop from Fiji to Pago Pago in the American Samoas. It's an old airport I used to land at on the way down to Operation Deep Freeze with the 130. And that's another one I haven't done with some Air Force in a while. They're just getting a little too crazy with stuff, and I just want to fly. I just want to relax when I fly. Trying to get my stress levels, which are through the roof right now, back under control, back down, and trying to calm myself down. Works hard enough, and I don't need it here on while I'm flying on the simulator. But like I said, we're going from Nadia, Fiji, over to Pago Pago, America Samoas on Monday. And that will be in the Zebo. So hope you all can join us. If you want to know when we're going to be planning the departure, I don't know as of yet what time that'll be. It's kind of dependent on my wife's work schedule. She happens to work in the flight deck here as well. So I don't want to be online interrupting a Zoom call or worse when she's trying to talk to a student. And you all don't need to hear that stuff from the student because it is sensitive data. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there for those of you interested. I'll put that in the chat box as well. All right. So time-wise, I'll try and narrow that down on Sunday. So, but anyway, I do show that we're about 20 miles out from top of descent, so let's get that Q&H put in. And what that basically does, folks, is when we get to where we somehow switched out of HEPA. Hang on a second. Let me look up here. Okay, and same thing over here. I think I know what I did. Okay, so I think I just did it here. All right, that's set. Next up is a little too high. Get our altitude set to 8,000. And you know what? We're 12 miles out. At 10, we're going to go ahead and let her come down on her own. Showing 17.1. We estimated 12.4 when we land. That is what we need for a reserve. All right, there's 9 miles. And there we go, folks. And boy, are we starting down like a rocket, like always. And I'll be right back with you. All right, so let's descent checklist continuing. We've announced descent, recall checked. We'll do that real quick. Recall. Okay. And auto brakes, they're down here at the bottom to level 2. Usually go to 3, but we're going to go 2 since we got to go a little further down. Approach briefing is complete. Again, one thing we did not go over yet, the VREFs. And let me update my weather to 15 left, headwind 12, still on a dry runway. We're going to be looking at a VREF of 149, approach of 150. So we're going to come down here, go to INTREF, approach. We need 149, so we'll type 30 slash 149 and enter it right there. Is it going to show? No. All right, that's fine. I'm not going to risk an auto land then. And I'm going to go into VNAV, maintain 290, make sure we're at 15,000 now. All right, that way we don't go below that restriction. All right, folks, and for light-wise right now, we're going to keep the wings on. We're good with the lights. And transition. $14,000. Now, let me, while we got the chance here, we're going to be leveling off here shortly. Let me, yeah, we're good here with that. Actually, I'm going to do this. Okay. For those of you curious, we are in the descent phase, so next page, next page. You won't be able to do it with this version. I don't have the latest, greatest, but if you're looking to set the transition level, 747 and 777, you just come to the, and I believe the 737, come to the descent page of your performance, VNAV, click forecast. It doesn't work here, but there you would be able to enter it and put it right up here. All right, so let's get now set for 8,000. Actually, I think our next one is 9. Okay, so stand by. Okay, so 8. Oh, it is 8,000, so we can take it all the way down. Okay. Let's take a look outside the plane for the last time as we round the corner here. Korea's off in the distance there, obviously. And you can see the speed brakes up, trying to get us slowed down. And we are. Okay, just getting her set for the next one. Getting some screenshots here as we come around the corner. And we get ready to set up for the big turn. Barrows disagree. I hate this. Well, that's because... There we go. I forgot to click standard. I'm so used to the aircraft doing it for me. Now, off the next fix, I do plan to slow us to 220.
10,000 feet.
Okay, we got the lights on. Transition, we're going to get the ignition back to continuous. Minimums will be set. All right, so let's switch to, and what I like to do is make sure, okay, we're set. Okay. Again, 8,000 is our hard altitude here at 947, I believe it is. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and set us for 5,000 now. Huh. So we're headed to Don. We'll stay in 20, and here we go, folks. Let's get into the approach phase here. We're going to go ahead and kick to flaps 5. And, well, there they are. So here's our flap limits, 280 for flaps 1, 260 flaps 5, and so forth down. I lied. We're getting another look at her. Okay. And let me make sure, because I just noticed something here. Yep, 155. All right. Real quick look to make sure everything's set up here. I'm going to go ahead and turn, well, we'll keep that on because it is kind of chilly. Turn those off. All right, here we go, folks. Coming up on Dannon in 4 miles. And then we'll begin the run into Scott where we make the ILS grab and then head into Inchon. We'll descend to 3,000. Inchon traffic, MACAIR 572, crossing Dannon for the ILS runway 33, or correction, 15 left. We'll cross Scott at 20 or 3,000 feet. And the reason I'm calling out is, let's see if they ever got what I have to use fixed. And no, they did not. Oh well. Okay, there's Dan. Okay, I want to watch this very carefully. Okay, the localizer is alive. You can see it right there. So I'm going to punch that in. Somewhere out in there is our runway, and it's been a long time since I've flown this way. But yeah, somewhere out in that area, folks. I'm going to watch this to make sure. It looks like the glide slope may be coming alive too. Okay, we're going to slow to 180 now. What's our distance at Scott? 8, 13. Yeah, we'll go ahead. Make that grab a little easier. And we'll knock another notch of flaps in. Okay. Actually, I'm going to drop this to 10. And we're going to turn the terrain off. All right, folks, we're grabbing the localizer at this point. And it overshot. On glide slope, let's see how she does. Okay, we got the missed approach altitude set.
2,500.
Gear coming down. And the arm went down. Okay, auto brakes are set.
Gear down.
Speed brake armed. I just found a key for that, so that means I'm going to try and set that up on my stick. See how it firms up here. Okay, got the runways in sight. Little overshoot. Going to flaps 20. And she's firmed up. Okay, wind is slightly quartering at us. Flaps 25.
One thousand.
Okay, firming up here. Flaps 30. All right, final checks. Gear down, showing down. Auto brakes 3. Spoilers armed, flaps 30 and 30, cleared to land. Inchon traffic, MACAIR 572, short final 15 left.
Input traffic, radar 09 approaching top
500.
descend to 2,900.
400.
Settling in.
Speed 210.
300. 200.
Okay.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Idle reverse. There's 80. All right. And welcome to Inchon, everyone. We're just rolling out. We'll make our one taxiway that we wanted, which would be Delta 1, I think it was. And we'll take her right in. Well, let's not go that way, airplane. Delta 1. Inchon traffic, MACAIR 572 exiting at Delta 1, clear of the runway.
Welcome to Korea.
Thank you. All right. And now we are clear. So what we're going to do here real quick, folks, let's do the after landing. So landing lights.
Cancel traffic, radar 09, reduce speed 180.
APU's on. Okay, so let's come over here. Grab our flaps. I know I should be doing this while taxiing. Speed brakes are up and down. MCP reset. EFIS reset. TCAS off. Transponder auto brakes off. APU can now be turned on. Let's taxi to cargo. All right, folks, and I haven't looked yet. 229 feet a minute for the landing. We'll take it, as always. And all we got to do now is just get her in there safely. And again, for those of you joining, thank you for flying with Mike. Short taxi, and we'll be in our parking spot. What's up? To the what? Oh, okay. Yep, I meant to mute myself, and I didn't. So, alrighty, folks. As you heard, wife's going to the bank. I'm taxiing in. That or I was muted the whole time on the arrival and nobody heard me doing anything. Oh no, the guy did hear me, so I was on with y'all. Alright, so 2 hours and 13 minutes from the time we release brakes over at Taipei to Inchon. Did the APU ever come on? Sure did. Okay, why is it not showing? Oh, there it is, APU running. Just my blind eyes didn't see it. Oh, we can turn the continuous off. And I think we'll head for something like 6:30, 6:31 down here, so. Got a little ways to go still. But folks, if you did like the broadcast, even though I was in a little, it seemed like a grumpy mood, but I'm really not. Not sure what was going on there. Please click follow. We'd sure love to have you along on our next adventures. Like I said, Monday we're going to go from Nadia over to Pago Pago. I think we're going to take this next one. So let me get kind of under control here. Also want to kill the runway, the lights. Coming around here, but yeah, we'll be flying from Pago, and that'll be in the Zibo 737. So look forward to seeing what Pago Pago looks like in X-plane. Hopefully it's gonna look good. It looked pretty good in Microsoft FSX. So if the scenery, which it is better for the most part here in X-plane, I got some squibbles and squabbles with it. But if it's anything like it is elsewhere, it should be fine. But let me get this bird into the spot here. She is really lumbering along here. And everything today has been default, folks. So I don't have many add-on sceneries at all. The only ones I have are a few in the States, and I think I still need something because I keep getting an error in and around the Charleston area, but I don't know the scenery draw outlines, so. Let's put the brakes on there. All right, folks, welcome to, if I haven't said it enough, welcome to Inchon. Parking brakes set. All right, so let's shut down. Parking brakes set, taxiway lights off. Let's see, where were we? Clock reset. No, we're just going to click stop for now. Electrical, we're going over to the APU. And we can now turn the fuel control off. Now we're going to have to do it this way. All right, there's shutdown. Passenger signs can go off. Transponder fully off. Fuel pumps demands, okay. Back up to the top, fuel pumps. Now, the reason these two are on is that's what the APU is drawing from. And the anti-ice is off, and the aft cargo heat can be turned off now. And so can the beacons. All right, folks, that is a wrap. Make sure. And one thing we are going to do, let's just go to menu, ground handling, request our chocks, go to ground service, request ground power. And folks, this is what you would have done in the beginning, although the chocks come at the beginning. And we'll go ahead and shut down the APU. And there you go, folks. The aircraft is on the ground here in Inchon, chocked. And hopefully, what do we got over there? CCA 124 sitting on the ground. So hopefully we'll get a bigger view out here. They're over in the gates. We're over here in cargo. So giving you an idea of what it looks like around us. And all I can say is thank you for flying with Mike. We appreciate the tuning in, and hopefully if you liked it, you'll click follow. Otherwise, you know, that way you'll know where we're flying to next, when we're flying, because when we go live, you get an email. So y'all have a great day. God bless. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday for our next flight.